Janet Carpman. Thanks for being with us today on Graceful Aging. What I liked about the one description that I read is you're an architectural sociologist. So what's an architectural sociologist? Great term.
It's somebody who thinks about the users of the physical spaces that we all occupy all the time. So while some people may think about how do spaces look and what colors are they and how attractive are they, people like me think about how do they function for the people who use them, and they can certainly be beautiful and attractive and exciting places too. But it's looking at the behavior and the design together. That's the architecture part and the sociology part.
So are you like just a kid in a candy store when you walk into a new building? Do you just stand there and watch how people walk through it?
I do, and I'm also paying attention everywhere I go. When I drive, even at the movies, I'm always looking at physical spaces, looking at cues, watching people, thinking about how places function and how they could function better.
Tell us the things that you look at signs, so our directional signs. What are the other kind of badges?
Well, we look at all kinds of things related to design, so that would include signs, as you've said, would also include architecture, how a place is laid out. It would include site planning, so how buildings and roads are laid out. It would include landmarks, artwork, statues, inside landmarks too, things that give people cues about where they are and where to go. It includes lighting, it includes landscaping, it includes maps, all those things having to do with design that give people an idea about where they are and where they're going. And then there's another whole set of issues too, we call operational issues, starting with what are places called, the terminology, how are places numbered from address numbers to room numbers, what kinds of information do people get before they go to a place, what kinds of information do people get when they're at a place and confused, so direction giving, how staff are trained and how to find their own way around, all those things, how wayfinding systems are maintained and updated over time, so all kinds of things. And then there's a combination of design and operations, which would include things like websites. How are they designed and operated? So there are a lot of things involved.
The real world, the actual world, and a virtual world, you're in wayfinding.
Absolutely.
Where did that term come from, wayfinding?
It was invented many, many years ago by a city planner named Kevin Lynch, who was at MIT and wrote a book called Image of the City. He's the first one that we know. I think that book was published in 1960, so it's been around quite a while. You wrote
a wonderful book, and I was able to get a copy of the book Directional Sense, and it's a one-of-a-kind book. I was pleased when I started to read it that it was user-friendly to me. I could follow it, and it wasn't a big theoretical book. It made real good sense. Does everybody still get lost?
Oh yes, everybody gets lost. Not all the time,
do you
but
get lost?
At times I get lost too. In fact, even today on the way to your studio, I had a couple of what we call wayfinding challenges. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it happens to everybody all the time.
So it's not something just because of declining faculties or that I'm a man or I'm a woman. It's across all sexes, ages, the whole works.
It is. There's certain things that make it more difficult for people, certain situations that make it difficult, certain aspects of the physical environment, certain wayfinding cues if they're not designed well. If people have various kinds of disabilities, it can be difficult. And there are some people who just have more trouble than other people with navigating. We call those people directionally challenged. So yes, everybody gets lost at times, absolutely. Some people get lost more often than other people.